everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It's another great day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today, and I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Dr. Terry Bly, licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing, and she is here to talk about the unique challenges and opportunities that often accompany the third age of life. While many of us spend our working years dreaming about the day we can retire, when that day actually arrives, we may be surprised to find ourselves feeling a bit lost, driftless, even depressed. Dr. Bly will talk about ways we can prepare ourselves for retirement even while we're still working, and how to adjust our mindset and expectations, and also how we might approach the challenges we face once our careers no longer consume most of our time. Moreover, many of us end up trading the challenges of work life for health issues, caring for spouses or elderly parents or both, and of course, helping our adult children. Dr. Bly will also discuss when therapy might be a helpful tool for navigating this chapter of life, as well as how to find the best person to help you with your particular challenges. You'll enjoy listening to my conversation today with Dr. Terry Bly. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows. And we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website, and we can also be found on your favorite streaming service, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for our guest today, there are two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show producer, Patrick, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 952-946-6205. Or you can directly text us your question at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry if you missed our contact numbers. I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I'm excited to welcome my guest for today's show, Dr. Terry Bly, licensed clinical psychologist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, our audience loves to learn about you before they hear about the amazing things that you do in your life. Just give us a background. Just to kind of, were you born here in the Twin Cities, or kind of what's your? I know Fargo.
Okay. Yeah.
Fargo connection. Yeah. We talked about that before the show.
I was born in Fargo, North Dakota. Grew up in Moorhead, so I'm Moorhead Spud. And then I that actually was an exchange student in France, and then I went to Middlebury College in Vermont. I majored in theater and psychology. And then I moved here to the Twin Cities. The plan was to be here for a couple of years, and that was in 1996. So the couple of years has turned into 30.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Wow.
So that was not the plan, but here I still am. And I went to graduate school and got my doctorate in clinical psychology, but I also continued doing theater, did a bunch of commercials after I had kids because theater was too time-consuming. So I did some commercials. I did a TV show for like an episode of an ABC show once, and then it was time to buckle down. So then I started doing therapy full
Time to get
time.
serious.
So I was a therapist the whole, like, for almost this entire, stint, but was weaving in as much theater and stuff as I could, and parenting two delightful daughters, and navigating all of the other challenges, which I will not go into because that would take up the whole hour, but a whole bunch of life happened in there. And actually ended up, when I kind of recommitted to being a full-time therapist, which was about 10 years ago, realized how much more I enjoyed being a therapist and how much better a therapist I was, having gone through a whole bunch of life stuff. And so now I'm in this stage of my career where I'm just really, really, truly enjoying it, more than I ever imagined.
So you mentioned a few things there about, I mean, you had two different tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, really, psychology, acting.
Yeah.
Have you seen that connect at all?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Has there been some synergy?
Yes, they're really two aspects of the same thing. They're really about understanding people. Theater is about, like, a good actor is trying to understand the character they're playing. Why are they doing this? What's their motivation? What do they need from the people around them? One of my favorite things that I use actually as a therapist is talking about how nobody thinks of themselves as a villain. And so I work with a lot of people going through divorce, and they're wanting to kind of paint their ex as a villain, and they get stuck there. And I always say, nobody thinks of themselves as a villain. Like, the best theater advice I ever got was, if you're playing the role of a villain, you have to figure out, why are you a hero in your own mind? What's your purpose for doing the things that you're doing? And they're not coming from an evil place for the most part. They're coming from this motivation, and to you, this is the right solution. And this is how you need to be in the world to protect yourself, to get what you want. And anyway, so yes, the two come together. That's the long answer.
Yeah.
The two come together so well most of the time. And certainly the psychology background works wonders when I'm doing theater. Like, it's a great background for being an actor.
True. Well, you're always wanting to connect too with your audience.
Yes.
And so you're trying to, how do I connect to them? How do I
Yes.
reach them?
Yeah.
And you have that when you're in session
Yes,
with therapy.
it is about both of those jobs, if you want to call them that.
Yeah.
They're both about connection. They're both about reaching the people and hopefully giving them something to think about, and something that affects them and hits them at a deeper level, and gets them thinking about their lives in a new and different way.
Yeah. Well, there's just a lot of questions I have about. I mean, you're the first therapist I think I've had on the show in 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, we've had hundreds of guests. I mean, all
Yeah.
walks of life, doing all kinds of things. It's the most amazing experience I've had in my life, is to sit across the table and talk to people that are just so passionate, typically about helping others.
Yeah.
And but the more we help others, the more we help ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
I've learned in life that you learn so much from others,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in the profession I'm in,
Oh, yeah.
with dealing with people at end of life.
Yes.
It's amazing the life experiences that you learn from people that are kind of facing the ultimate.
Yes, the ultimate existential crisis.
Right. I am going to die
Yeah.
here shortly. What's really important to me?
Yeah.
And it's so. I mean, anybody in the hospice profession, of course, all my staff and colleagues, we really are privileged to be able to sit with people at that point in life, because
Yeah, it's
there's
quite an
just
honor to be allowed in.
Yes.
To that moment
It's
in
a
someone's
very
life.
intimate, when someone's saying, this is what's important to me now, because we
Yeah.
always ask, what do you want? What are your last wishes?
Yeah.
What do you want to see done here? And
Yeah.
it's so amazing. It always comes down to relationships.
The ultimate closure, really,
Yes.
finding closure.
Right. And we kind of call it, you get full enlightenment
Yeah.
right before you cross the threshold. It's like, why can't we get that?
Yeah. Right? Why can't we get that
Earlier in life.
decades earlier?
Right. When all of a sudden everything just becomes really
Yeah.
clear.
But isn't that true about, like, every stage of life, where you look back and you think, why couldn't I have figured that out
I know.
then? Why am I only figuring out now, and it almost feels too late? I feel like that's
Right.
so much of life now.
Yes, you have to almost go through the door
Yeah.
to then reflect and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I should."
Like, can I go please and have a do-over? I think that all the time. Like, God, I'm figuring it out. Can I please go back?
Right.
20
right,
years. I get it now. I get it.
Right. But that circles back though to
Yeah.
the psychology side though. We talked earlier about there's a lot of new people that come into the profession. I think what the number one degree in college is psychology,
Psychology,
right? I mean,
yep.
everyone just kind of defaults to psychology.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of new people that come in there, and it's tough being young.
Yeah.
You just
It
don't.
is.
We have all levels of ages and experience and things in hospice, and it's great. I love to see people get mentored and grow up in this the profession that I'm in. But there is something to be said to going through life and having the scars on your back. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, you go, wow, I've traversed over some things that,
Right.
like you say, I wish I would have known before I made that
Yes. Yeah.
that leap. But that's why I think it's important that people feel comfortable sitting down with someone like you and helping get perspective.
Yeah.
And we got the music cueing us
Yep,
out here.
cueing us out. It's
Yep.
already break time.
But that's right. But we'll be right back.
Okay.
To continue our conversation with Dr. Terry Bly, licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing. And she is here today talking about the unique challenges and opportunities that often accompany the third age of life. And we'll talk about that in the next section here. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hey, Chanhassen and Eden Prairie. It's Alex with Buzzcut Mowing. Winter's on its way. Why spend your morning shoveling snow when I can take care of it for you? I provide fast, thorough, and reliable snow removal. Your driveway and sidewalk stay clear, safe, and completely stress-free. Stay warm, skip the back-breaking work, and let me handle all the heavy lifting this season. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com today to make winter easier, safer, and more enjoyable with Buzzcut Mowing.
Hi, this is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. It's been great working with so many of the passionate AM 950 listeners over the years. We have realized how important AM 950 is to the community. I want to see AM 950 continue to grow and continue to thrive into the future. To help continue to grow, Snap Construction will be putting up proceeds to assist the station in marketing on social media. Snap Construction encourages you to do your part by liking and sharing the content on AM 950 social media platforms.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Ryan has always told me the best time to get work done is during the colder months of the year because demand is much lower. He is backing that up again by offering 30% off labor on windows and siding from now until the end of December. Call Snap Construction now to get 30% off labor on windows and siding. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Trust the company AM 950 trusts Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, and window contractor in the metro area. Get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
Je te dis joyeux Noël, tu me dis joyeux Noël.
Hey, Francois, look at those pretty gifts.
Oui, j'ai commandé des macarons sur nicoletsmacarons.com.
You ordered these macarons at nicoletsmacarons.com? That's great because they ship throughout the country.
Oui, et ils ont même mis le logo de mon entreprise sur les macarons.
And they put your company logo on the macaroons.
Et voilà un cadeau pour toi.
A box for me? Thank you, Francois. And I have a gift for you from nicoletsmacaroons.com. Merry
Joyeux Noël.
Christmas.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. Is your home ready for the holidays? 'Tis the season to be jolly, and nothing makes me jollier than a clean home. Maybe you breathed a sigh of relief that Thanksgiving wasn't at your house this year, but now you're realizing you are going to be hosting something in December and your home isn't ready. But don't worry, there's time to call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to come out and get things in order before your friends and family come over. Zero Res can take care of any surface in your home from tiles, carpets, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, and more. Don't DIY it. Call Zero Res because you know they're safe and effective. They have a 4.9 rating on Google Reviews with over 21,000 satisfied customers. Go ahead and get clean and don't miss this deal. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and ask for the AM 950 special. Spots are filling up fast, so don't wait. Lock yours in today. Happy holidays from all of us at Zero Res. Backward or forward spells the same.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Dr. Terry Bly. She is a licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing. She is here talking about the unique challenges and opportunities that often accompany the third age of life. While many of us spend our working years dreaming about the day to retire, when that day actually arrives, we may be surprised to find ourselves feeling a bit lost and driftless, even depressed. And Dr. Bly will talk about ways we can prepare ourselves for retirement even while we're still working. Dr. Bly, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
So if they want to contact me directly, I'm certainly happy to put my email address out there. It's Terry, Terri, at therapy-mn.com. And then our website at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing is therapy-mn.com. And we have over 200 therapists who specialize in a whole range of things. And I have amazing colleagues, and it's really a great group of providers.
Yeah, I was surprised when I looked at meet the whole team.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that show up.
There's a lot of people there. I mean, that's just amazing, the resource level you guys have.
Yeah.
How long has Lynn Lake been around?
Yeah, it's been around for, I want to say 15 years, might be going on 16 now.
Okay.
Started before the pandemic, quite a bit. I think I want to say she started in 2013. I hope she doesn't hear that I'm forgetting the year that she started this. I want to say 2014, right in there at least.
Yeah.
And it's just grown exponentially since.
Wow. And you have multiple locations where your therapist can meet with clients.
Yes, we have 11 locations in total in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Most of them are in Minneapolis. The largest one is the Lakeside Center near Lake Bede-Makaska. And then there are 3 locations on Hennepin. My location is on Snelling Avenue in St. Paul, right by Macalester College. So they're kind of all centered in that Minneapolis-St. Paul area. We don't have any locations in the suburbs, but most of our providers also offer telehealth. So anyone in the state of Minnesota can certainly access our services.
Wow. I think we can talk about this maybe later, but it almost is overwhelming sometimes when someone's looking for help.
Yes, it is very overwhelming.
And I mean, even in hospice world, the doctor will say, Dr. Bly, there's nothing more we can do.
Right.
And you're kind of hanging there.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean nothing more we can do? And they say, well, maybe it's time to look into hospice.
Right.
Well, there's 100 hospice providers in Minnesota.
Sure.
And it's like, well, where do I start?
Where do you start?
Yeah. Yeah. How do I do? And of course, Medicare.gov does rank all the healthcare hospitals, clinics, hospices by customer satisfaction surveys. And so you can say, here's one that has a high rating, or it's the Google review type thing.
Yeah.
But how would a person, even just looking at your organization, you've got 200 amazing people there. How do you?
Well, so another parallel,
How do you even get an appointment? I mean, we'll talk about some of that because people always ask, well, how do I go about doing that? Yeah.
The good news is, with an organization like ours, we do have a referrals team, and their job is to, when someone fills out that appointment request form on the website, we have a referrals team, and they're great. And their job is to look at, what's the information you're putting on there? What are the issues you're looking to address? Do you have a preference for gender? Do you have a preference, for what kind of issues, do you want somebody who identifies as LGBTQ, for example? People can really specify what they're looking for, and then our referrals team will do their best to match you with somebody who seems like a good fit. And it is really, I can't emphasize this enough, that throughout the decades of research on therapy, regardless of the approach somebody uses, regardless of how old they are, regardless of how long they've been doing therapy, if they have a master's degree or a doctorate degree, the most important outcome, for determining outcome, is a connection with the therapist. All the rest of it's secondary. And so it really is important to not settle on a therapist that you don't feel like you've got a good connection with. So even though it's hard to find a therapist in the first place, it's really important to know that if you're not feeling a good connection with that therapist, then we're all trained to know that, like, if our client comes to us and says, I'm not feeling this connection, it is our job to say, well, let me help you find somebody who's a better fit. But our referrals team certainly can do that as well. So it really is, therapy is just like hospice. You're so vulnerable in those situations, and you have to feel safe in that space, because if you can't be vulnerable, then you can't grow. We can't grow and stay comfortable. It doesn't work that way. Right. And so you have to be in a space with somebody where you can feel safe to be uncomfortable, where you can feel safe to be vulnerable, and put out some of those thoughts that you don't want to tell anybody, that maybe you're embarrassed about, and so you need to know that the person you're sitting with will hold that stuff and respond in a way that's not shaming, that feels validating, that, doesn't mean they agree with everything you say, but they don't make you feel bad for having said it, right? And those things are so important that, again, yes, their approach to therapy and how long they've been doing the work, those things can matter, but they're not going to determine your outcome as much as having somebody that you feel safe in that room with. Yeah,
and I guess that applies to almost anything in life.
Yeah.
Relationships.
This is true.
I mean,
yeah.
If you feel employment, if you feel safe and secure, and you're being respected, and you have a voice, and
you're going to do your best work.
You're right. You're going to be just amazing.
Exactly.
You'll be
that's how you grow, right? In any area of your life. In relationships, you're right. Same thing in relationships. If you have a partner you feel safe with, you're more likely to grow as a human than if you have somebody you feel like you have to walk on eggshells with, and you can't really be your true self. You're not going to grow. You're going to be stunted in that early stage.
And I know in our organization, the two most important questions that I always ask people: what are your dreams, and how can we help you make them come true? Because everyone should have a dream.
Yes.
I mean, I think we were innately kind of have these dreams, and but no one ever asks people. It's so funny. I'll be in interviews, and I'll ask these, why hospice, why Minnesota Hospice, why, and what are your dreams, and how can we help you come true? And just surprising, people say, wow, no one's ever asked me that question. What are your dreams? I mean, that's probably the most important thing. Why are you here?
Why are you here? What are you hoping to? Yes. What do you want to accomplish with your life?
Right, because I tell people what we've learned at end of life is that people don't regret what they've done.
Yes.
They regret what they haven't.
Yep.
And I say, don't be in this profession and if your life had that same dilemma. So.
Which is what makes retirement such an important phase of life.
We got to talk about that. I mean, this is this is great. All right, time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Dr. Terry Bly, licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing, and she is here. We're going to talk about unique challenges and opportunities that accompany the third age of life. If you have a question, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hi, I'm Mary T. I'm a proud supporter of AM 950. Because this station shares the values that I care about most: community, connection, and making a difference. Just like AM 950, I believe in using our energies, our resources, and our voices to lift up others. That's why I started the Mary T. Scholar Program at the University of Minnesota College of Education and Human Development, providing graduate students with internships internationally. For over the past 10 years, our students have served communities in Laos, Cambodia, Nepal, India, Cameroon, and Thailand, gaining experience and helping people in ways that really make a difference. Supporting AM 950 fosters conversation, awareness, and action in our communities. It's about shared values and believing that together we can make a difference. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more about the work that we do.
In today's uncertain times, Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces believes that a fire can add comfort and security to your life. At Woodland, our mission is to connect you to a place for fire that works.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces installed our wood stove years ago, and we still love it. Watching the fire, feeling the heat is a joy we experience every day. And knowing we have a reliable heat source makes us feel snug and safe.
There are many choices in wood, gas, or electric. For diversity in styles, at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we display over 180 models, and 35 of these are burning displays. You can experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Whether wood, gas, or electric, find a fire that warms your heart, a fire that adds comfort and security to your life. See the many choices at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, located on the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis, and online at woodlandstoves.com.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces since 1977. For over 48 years, our slogan has been, out of the ordinary products and services. Our mission is to get you a fireplace that works in your life.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Today, sunshine with temperatures around 13, then tonight clear with lows of 3 above. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com. You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Saturday.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Dr. Terry Bly, licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Well-Being, and she is here, and we're going to talk about the unique challenges and opportunities that often accompany the third age of life. But before we return to our conversation, I want to mention this radio show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life health care services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services right to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. There is a registered nurse available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, 952-898-1022, or simply visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's return to our conversation with Dr. Terry Bly. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. All right, Dr. Bly, how can our listeners contact you and your organization if they have questions or want more information?
They can reach our organization at therapy-mn.com. They can also email me directly at Terry, Terri, at therapy-mn.com.
All right, Terri
Yep.
at therapy-mn.com. All right, fantastic. All right, third age of life. Let's talk about that, because I know a lot of people are probably really curious about this.
Yes.
Our listeners are typically middle-aged and are in the middle of careers. They're a sandwich generation. They're
Yep.
taking care of parents.
Yep.
They're taking care of children. I mean, they're right in where
Yeah.
your expertise is. So let's maybe define what the third age
Well,
of
the
life is.
third age technically is kind of retirement and afterwards. So those of us in our 50s, we're starting to think about it, right? We're kind of later stages of the second age, that working family time, and then third age is getting more attention, thankfully, and it's really about that transition from career and family taking up all your time and your energy and your thoughts to now retirement, which all of us dream about, right? We all think, oh, when I retire, this and that, and I'm just gonna have this great time, and then it arrives, and a lot of people are not prepared for the experiences, the emotions that come up, the challenges, because they were so focused on the things they were going to be able to let go of. The stressors that they weren't going to have to deal with anymore, that they really weren't prepared for how to make the most of that stage of life, where their expectations they had just are not matching the reality. And so I really have gotten interested in working with people to help them kind of create a new plan and be aware of like what makes for this stage of life to be a fulfilling and enjoyable stage. Because it's usually different than they thought it would be. The things they need to put together, the plan, the structure, it's usually different than they imagined. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to get up when I want, and I'm going to go play some pickleball or golf, and then watch some TV and do nothing. And it's going to be great. But it's not. That's not great. For some people, I'm sure there are people who really do just enjoy doing nothing and leisure and whatever. But for most people, especially people who loved their jobs, I think people who really loved their careers, had meaningful careers where, like you and me probably, where you never wake up and go, what is even the purpose of what I'm doing?
So grateful,
when you know why you're existing, you know who you're helping, you know the impact you're making, and then you retire. And I think people are not prepared for the void that leaves. Sure, you leave the stress behind of the Zoom calls and the paperwork and whatever, but you also leave behind that built-in sense of purpose every day. And that is something that can create a lot of distress in people when they realize. In fact, some of the clients I work with who struggle the most are the former therapists and the former professors and, the people who never questioned why they were on this planet for 40, 50 years. And now they feel like they're stagnating. And, at worst they feel like, well, now I'm just sitting around waiting to die. And that's not how I want to spend the last, because you might have 5 years, you might have 25 years of that stage. And so I think a lot of people just did not realize that their expectations of it are not matching the reality.
Yeah. For some reason, I've talked to several people just in the last few months of they've retired. A lot of times it's just people I know are connected to the profession. Very consistently, they are not happy.
Yeah.
They said, I didn't expect this when I was working in that. And what I hear and mostly it's men that I'm talking to,
sure.
They really regret leaving the work,
Mm-hmm.
leaving, because you're right. I think especially men are just wired to.
Well, men are
just
told that their careers and their identities are the same.
For sure.
And I think the more women are as well, then women are kind of joining men in that sense of despair after retirement. Because I think it really isn't about men or women. I think it's about the extent to which you identified with your career, that became who you were. Hi, I'm Terry Bly. I'm a clinical psychologist, right?
True.
When I retire, I need to figure out who I am now if I'm not a psychologist. Now, granted, I still think I might, as I've worked with other people, I thought, maybe I'll just keep a handful of clients. As long as I'm physically and mentally able, that might be the plan. Because I think having that sense of purpose, we don't realize how critical that is to happiness, to enjoying your life. I think we think it's leisure. I think we think it's travel, and those things are great. But I don't think we fully grasp how much that having that sense of purpose is key to feeling good about being alive.
Yeah.
Why am I here? I think we need to have that answer when we wake up in the morning. Why am I here?
Yeah. I think I mentioned to you on the break that I've been doing this for 8 years. I've talked to hundreds of people, and so many of them have come on the show midlife, and they did 180 degree. They realized I am not happy being a XYZ. And they did something, well, was an actor and now became a therapist, or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting how at some point they go, I'm going to do what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do why I am really here. What really brings me joy. And I can see once and not everybody I think figures that out.
Yeah.
I mean, Gallup poll shows that 90% of people are unhappy in their jobs.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. There's so many great jobs out there and so many great professions, but it's great to see people taking control of their life, and sometimes in the mid-career, the kids are on their own, and you have more freedom actually for the first time maybe in 20 or 30 years,
which can bring about some of that crisis.
I was going to ask you about that. Yes.
It's because your sense of purpose when your kids leave home, right? There's another built-in sense of purpose. I've got to raise these little humans.
Right.
It's right there. Every day you know what your purpose is. My purpose is to keep these little people safe
keep
and then
alive.
keep them safe, keep them alive, and then raise them to be good humans that other people enjoy being around, hopefully, right? And productive little humans. And so I think that also creates crises when those kids leave. And that, of course, coincides with, career winding down and all of that. So I think all these things happen at kind of around the same time.
It's like a 1-2 punch.
And it leaves you with this, oh gosh, now I haven't even had time to think about what I'm going to do to get that sense of purpose. And I also think, at least with women, I don't know if men experience, but I think they do to some degree. Maybe with women it starts younger, is I've got to figure it out now, because if it's going to be a career change, for example, women do not have quite the runway that men do in terms of being viewed as a viable candidate for a new career. So when it comes to career changes, definitely there's that needing that sense of purpose. And then that transitions into retirement as well. And I also think expectations is key here. When people have an expectation of how something is going to be, they're more likely to be disappointed. And we know that from the research. The more you expect something to be amazing, the less likely it is to be amazing. And so I try to work with people on switching expectation to curiosity.
Sure.
I'm curious what retirement's going to be like. I'm curious what this new job is going to be like, rather than this is going to be amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm going to retire and I'm going to be so much happier and I'm going to have all this energy and I'm going to have all this free time and it's going to be so wonderful. And I'm going to spend my whole working years dreaming about this fantasy that I've created about retirement, and actual life just is never going to live up to that, because one analogy I've used is that it's sort of like teenagers when they talk about leaving home. They're like, I'm going to move out and no one's going to be able to tell me what to do and it's going to be so great and I won't have to clean up my dishes and whatever. And then they realize when they move out, they've really, yes, those things are true, but they've now got a new set of challenges.
Right.
Sure, they don't have their mom telling them what to do, but they do have roommates who are going to get mad if they leave all the dishes in the sink. And they've got a boss they still have to answer to, even if they don't have to answer to mom and dad. And I think the same is true to go from work life to retirement. If you just focus on the things you're not going to have to deal with anymore and you're not thinking about the new challenges, then I think that can be a bit of a blow of, oh, now I've got my own health that I focus on, or my parents, or my spouse, or, all these other things, these other challenges that come up that I have to navigate. It's not just this blissful life on a beach kind of stage of life. It's still life.
Right.
And life is going to keep happening.
Right. We got another minute here left. Have you found that when couples finish the career, finish raising children, and all of a sudden they're staring at each other across the kitchen table.
Issue. Big problem,
who are you?
And do I still like you?
Oh, that's a great question.
Who are you? And do I still like you? And it was one thing when you were home evenings, weekends, or if you traveled a lot, now you're home all the time. We had a little routine, but now you're home all the time. And do I like this, you being home all the time? And is this going to work when we're in each other's space all the time? And that can be a huge crisis for people to have. I mean, they say the peak divorce times, the first one is when the youngest kid starts kindergarten, and the second one is when the youngest kid leaves home. And it's because those are the times when suddenly we're a little more freed up to be looking at each other across that table and examining, oh, is this what I want?
Right,
so,
right. I've had many men say that their spouse says, "You got to get out of here."
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen you for 40 years during the day.
I cannot have you following me around.
Right. Please go do something.
Yep. Yep. So the joke I make with women is like, I'm going to need to find you a play date. Do I need to call your friends? Do I need to set up a play date for you? Because I'm going to need you to go do something.
Right. Oh my gosh. There's so much to unpack there. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Dr. Terry Bly, licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing. And she is here talking about the unique challenges and opportunities that often accompany the third age of life. If you have a question for us, please feel free to give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
To your place on the throne, we come together on a special day. Sing our message.
Hi, I'm Mary T. Caring for others runs deep in my family. My grandmother, Rosa, was a nurse who cared for people in their homes more than a century ago. Inspired by her compassion, my mother, Margaret, and I founded the Mary T. family of companies nearly 50 years ago. Today, we continue that legacy across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Arizona, providing senior living, assisted living with memory care, home health, hospice care, rental housing, and support for people with disabilities. Each service is personal, creative, and focuses on the unique needs of those we serve. We also believe in joy and community, which is why we opened Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley, a place to celebrate life with music, laughter, and connection. At Mary T., we're proud to be a Minnesota family company rooted in compassion, inclusion, and respect. And proud supporters of AM 950 and the values that this station represents. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more.
Congratulations to Mary T., named one of the most admired CEOs of 2026 by the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Crooners is a classic supper club with a wide range of entertainment. Make your reservations for a parade of international, national, and local artists in the main stage showroom, the intimate Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the seasonal Belvedere Under the Stars space. Or enjoy Maggie's Piano Lounge. Enjoy 4-star food and drinks with first-class supper club service. What are you waiting for? Go to croonersmn.com for more information and schedule. That's croonersmn.com.
Hi, this is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. It's been great working with so many of the passionate AM 950 listeners over the years. We have realized how important AM 950 is to the community. I want to see AM 950 continue to grow and continue to thrive into the future. To help continue to grow, Snap Construction will be putting up proceeds to assist the station in marketing on social media. Snap Construction encourages you to do your part by liking and sharing the content on AM 950's social media platforms.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Ryan has always told me the best time to get work done is during the colder months of the year because demand is much lower. He is backing that up again by offering 30% off labor on windows and siding from now until the end of December. Call Snap Construction now to get 30% off labor on windows and siding. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Trust the company AM 950 trusts Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, and window contractor in the metro area. Get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Dr. Terry Bly, licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing, and she is here talking about the unique challenges and opportunities that often accompany the third age of life. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Dr. Bly, how can listeners contact you or your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Well, they can certainly reach out to me directly at terry@therapy-mn.com. My name is spelled Terri. And then they could also go to our website at therapy-mn.com. There's a button on the website that says appointments, and that's what you would click on in order to request an appointment with one of our therapists. So those are the easiest ways to get a hold of us.
Yep. And you've got a great referral.
Yes. We have a referrals team who will help match you.
Yes, because you got over 200 people, so it can be daunting,
Yes.
overwhelming, but you got a great program there to help people match up.
Yes.
So, and like you say, if you're not feeling comfortable with the therapist you have, find another one.
Keep looking.
Right, because you'll want to have that connection. That is so important.
And even if you're, and again, the other thing I want to mention to people is you don't have to have a mental illness to see a therapist. You can just be going through a rough time.
Right.
You just might need somebody to walk through it with you, help you sort through some thoughts, help you kind of figure out what to do next. That is okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to be like non-functioning, unable to get out of bed. In fact, it's preferable that you aren't at that stage yet because it's really hard to make progress when you're in that rough shape, you know.
Sure.
So
And one of the benefits is you got an experienced person who is independent.
Yeah.
It's so easy to sit and talk to your friends and family.
But they have their own agendas and
Right.
their own opinions, and ideally, a good therapist is not going to impose their own agenda on you or what they think you should do. They're going to help you figure out what you think you should do.
Yeah. Wow. Fantastic. We only have a few minutes here left in the show, and we were talking off air about hope.
Yes.
And then expectations and how those two are different. Would you mind just? I think people like.
Yes.
That they have hope for retirement. They also have expectations
Yes.
for retirement. Maybe let's
Yeah.
talk about, unpack that a little bit.
So
for
when I
us.
talk about not having expectations, sometimes people hear me saying like, don't be hopeful that it's going to be a good period of time. And that's not the same thing at all. Hope is not expectation. Hope is more like curiosity. I don't know what retirement is going to be like. Here's what I hope it's like. I hope I can find some meaningful things to do with my time. I hope I can find some great volunteer opportunities, or I hope I can find a good community of people. That's different from I'm going to. I'm going to have this amazing time. It's going to be the best time of my life. I will finally be letting go because of, whatever. And I'm going to live for another 30 years. I hope I have a solid 20, 30 years to really enjoy my retirement. I don't know if I will, but I hope I do. And I hope I can fill it with really meaningful and enjoyable activities. That's different from, that's like setting goals. Hope is setting goals. We don't set goals unless we have hope, right? So we're setting goals. We're going to work towards those, and we're going to look at, okay, what are my values? Who do I want to be at this stage of my life? And what matters to me at this stage of my life? And what steps can I be taking every day to move towards those things? Versus I've got this predetermined picture of what my life will be like, and I'm going to show up and just kind of hope and want it to just expect it, not hope. I'm just going to expect it to be this way. That's where you're going to be let down.
Yeah. You mentioned something on break earlier that people throughout their life have been told what to do or told
where
to
happiness comes from.
Right. I mean, told what profession, what schooling, what education, maybe what partner to have.
Yeah.
I mean, and all of a sudden, I like to tell you earlier, midlife, all of a sudden people just wake up.
Yeah.
And they go, I don't have to be.
Yeah. Or I did everything that they told me would make me happy, and I'm miserable.
Miserable, yes.
And so this isn't working.
Right.
I need to figure something else out because I did what I thought was going to bring me that sense of satisfaction. I was expecting, right? Again, there's expectations. I expected I would do ABC and then be happy. I did ABC, not happy. So now I have to figure out, what do I do?
It's hard to let go, though. I think
is.
when that's what you've been, your whole life is kind of centered around
Yeah.
what you should be doing or told what to do. And that's why I think it's important to sit down with someone like you
Yeah.
to almost get permission to even think
To even
about
think it. Yeah, to even entertain other
Right.
paths. Because sometimes it's really about, and again, sometimes it's about your own internal process. Maybe your expectations for life are just not realistic. And so it's not necessarily about changing. It's about like changing your life. It's about changing your expectations. But sometimes it is about the mismatch between the kind of person you want to be and the things you care about and then the life that you're actually leading. Sometimes there's a mismatch with that. And then that's about how do I adjust? What do I need to do to try to live the life that matters to me versus the life that matters to other people?
Boy, is that true? How often are we living for somebody else?
So often.
And that's where at the end of life, people finally get enlightened
Yeah.
about, I got to live my last few days here for myself.
For myself, yeah.
And you know what? When they do that, it's always about relationships, though.
It is. It's not a selfish, we
no,
think of
is.
it as a selfish maneuver, but we're better people to others when we're living a life that's based on our own values and the kind of person we want to be. That's when we connect to other people. That's when we're more interesting to be around. That's when we're more kind. We're kinder when we're feeling good about who we are and doing the things that we value. That's when we're our best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And our relationships get better as a result.
Yeah, you mentioned the word curiosity, and we only have a minute left here, but it goes back to when we were just toddlers and children. We were so curious about everything, and I see all these young kids, and they're so happy because they're learning, and they're exploring, and
they don't know what to expect.
Right, they have no expectations.
Yeah,
but we just lose that. It seems like throughout life, it just gets beat out of us to be curious and to ask questions. But that's just such the joy of life is learning and seeing what else is out there. It's so easy to get blinders on.
It's about balance, right? Balancing society's expectations with our own internal knowing, our internal sense of self, and how do I find a good balance of those two things?
Yeah.
So that I have people around me, so that I have a fulfilling life, but that it's my own.
Yeah, yeah. In the last few seconds here, again, just remind people, even 2 or 3 sessions. I mean, you don't have to sign up for life.
No.
I mean,
you don't have to find a therapist you see for the next 10 years. You might,
right.
But you can also find somebody that you meet with for 2, 3, 4 sessions. You get what you need, and then you go on your way. Just to kind of get you unstuck, right? Sometimes we just get stuck in our own head, and a therapist can help us get out of that head and start thinking things from a different angle.
Wow, this has been great. It's been great having you on the show.
Well, thanks. It's
wonderful.
been fun
My first therapist in 8 years here. I'm really impressed. Thank you so much. So for our audience to find more information, what's the best way to do that, to get a hold of you and your organization?
Yep, you can get a hold of me at Terry, Terri, at therapy-mn.com, or at Lynn Lake. Their website is therapy-mn.com.
All right. Well, Dr. Terri Bly, licensed clinical psychologist at Lynn Lake Centers for Wellbeing, has been great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you guys have any questions for us, please give us a call, 612-999-3426. You can reach us anytime by voice or text. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast. And thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until then, choose to live well.